All right, so welcome to literary analysis of the book Illusions by Richard Bach. In this section, we'll be discussing Chapter 2. So, Chapter 2 starts off with this character, Donald Shimoda, and we meet the narrator, the main character, the protagonist, whose name is Richard. And he's discussing how he meets Donald Shimoda. And what Richard does is he flies his airplane from field to field all across the Midwest. And it's a small little airplane, little two-seater. And he basically gets permission from the farmer and he flies people around, gives them rides for a couple of minutes. And this is how Richard makes his living. He doesn't really have a home. He just kind of flies from place to place, finds a good place to land, stays there, makes a little bit of money, flies to another place. And he thinks that he's the only one, or at least he's the only one that he's seen that does this, until one day he sees Donald Shimoda flying an airplane also, right? And he describes him as this. He was not a large man, hair to his shoulders, blacker than the rubber of the tire he leaned against. Eyes dark as a hawk, the kind like in a friend, and in anyone else make me uncomfortable indeed. He could have been a karate master on his way to some quietly violent demonstration. Right? And this is Richard describing what Donald Shimoda looks like. He also mentions on page 29 that in that moment he was a strange other planet person. I believe what he said, and I had no way of explaining this jewel airplane parked in the summer hayfield. Right? So he's kind of getting the sense that there's something to Donald Shimoda here. And it turns out that Donald Shimoda was this mechanic that came out in the first chapters, right? And he's barely getting to know him, kind of testing the waters with him, seeing what kind of person he is. Like I said, he believes he's the only one that does this kind of flying and does this, and now he's seen this man and his beautiful airplane, it's not marked in any way, it doesn't have bugs on it, it looks pristine, almost like if it just came right out of the factory, right? And as they start to talk, and people start showing up, and he offers to give them a ride. So this is on page 33. He's giving this old man a ride, and the old man is there with his granddaughter. And after they land, this is what the man says to him. The engine stopped and the man unsnapped his safety belt, and I helped him out. He took a wallet from his overalls and counted the dollar bills, shaking his head. That's quite a ride, son. We think so. It's a good product we're selling. It's your friend that's selling. Oh? I'll say your friend could sell ashes to the devil. I'll wager. Can't he now? How come you say that? The girl, of course. An airplane ride to my granddaughter Sarah. And as he spoke, he watched the travel air, a distant silver mote in the air circling the farmhouse. He spoke as a calm man speaks, noting the dead twig in the yard has just sprouted blossoms and ripe apples. Since she's born, that girl's been wild to death about high places, screams, just terrified. Sarah'd no more climb a tree than she'd stir hornets bare hand. Won't climb the ladder to the loft. Won't go up there, and the flood was rising in the yard. The girl's a wonder with machines, not too bad around animals, but heights, they're a caution to her. And there she is, up in the air. He talked on about this and other special times. He remembered when the barnstormers used to come through Gullsburg years ago, and Mammoth flying two-wingers, the same as we flew, but doing all kinds of crazy stunts with them. And so we see that there is something almost, that one line, he can sell ashes to the devil, right? Kind of, it's almost like a counter narrative there. It would be like saying Jesus can sell, ashes to the devil, right? Which would be crazy. right? To say something like that. Um, so it's not so much that you're getting Donald Shimoda as this ultimate holy man who lives without faults, who's perfect in everything that he does. But almost you get this sense like there's almost like this salesman quality to Donald Shimoda. So after the girl lands, she comes out all excited, and this is what she says to them. Grandpa, I'm not afraid. I wasn't scared, honest. The house looked like a little toy, and Mom waved at me. Don said I was scared just because I fell and died once. And I don't have to be afraid anymore. I'm going to be a pilot, Grandpa. I'm going to have an airplane and work on the engine myself and fly everywhere and give rides. Can I do that? Shimoda smiled at the man and shrugged his shoulders. He told you were going to be a pilot, did he, Sarah? No, but I am. I'm already good at engines, you know that? Well, you can talk about that with your mother. Time for us to get going home. The two thanked us, and the one walked and one ran to the pickup truck, both changed by what had happened in the field and in the sky. So, as you can see, Richard Bach, the writer, is sort of setting up this character Donald Shimoda as the master, right? As this messiah that's sort of changing the way the people around him look at life. And you see that this little girl, she comes back with this idea that she had died at this young age, in this previous life, and that's why she was afraid of heights. And I wonder if there's merit to that. What do you all think? Are you scared of something because maybe in a past life that's what caused your death? And what do you all think about this idea of reincarnation that's introduced here? That we live other lives, not just this life? Or do you believe that it's terminal? Once we're gone, and that's the end of who we are, who we were. You'll find that in most religions there's this idea of reincarnation in some form, whether it's Christianity and you go to heaven, or Islam and you go and also reach heaven with Allah, or even in Buddhism, right? You reach this level of enlightenment where you go beyond the physical. And Donald Shimoda is setting this up in this part of the book, right? What's interesting is that as you read on, you'll see that Donald Shimoda creates all kinds of different miracles, all kinds of different illusions. And of course, if he were to come out right away and just all of a sudden fix everything, then Richard's willing suspension of disbelief, his ability to believe in this, would be, blown away, right? Oh my God, that's amazing. I can't believe that you did that. And you would doubt what you witnessed, doubt what he saw, doubt what he experienced. But if you build these ideas slow, at first it's this clean airplane that just doesn't seem to be dirty, and this guy who does the exact same thing that he does, and then it's giving this girl a ride, that's still within the realm of possibility, right? You can still convince somebody who's scared of heights or who's scared of anything, and you can still convince them, and you can still talk them out of that fear, right? So in these next chapters, we'll start to see some of the other things that Donald Shimoda starts to bring to light, these other miracles, these other illusions that Donald Shimoda presents. All right, well, thank you for listening. This is chapter 2 of Illusions.